Okay, when should you help somebody in the gym? Especially if you're a guy, when should you help a woman in the gym? Now, I was in the gym today and I was just sort of, I always go in, I'm in the zone, I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm looking around, I'm looking at the next apparatus, and I'm either going to that, if there's somebody on it, I'm going to something else, and then circling back to that. But usually I have a range, I know what I'm doing, I'm in and out as quickly as I possibly can, because as little time I spend there is better for me, so that I can do that more often, and I know that it's the reps, it's the times that I'm going to the gym, not the amount that I'm spending in the gym that really counts. But today I'm on an apparatus, it sounds like PE talk, but I'm on a machine. I'm doing my stuff, I'm minding my own business, and in front of me, there's somebody trying to do deadlifts, there's a girl who's trying to do deadlifts, and she's gonna hurt herself. It's just as clear and simple as that. She's gonna hurt herself if she continues doing that. So I'm into this sort of headspace where I'm like, if I was in Manchester, what would be the rule here? Now, I've been in gyms all over the world, whether it's Manchester, London, Spain. I've talked about this a lot on this channel, the different dynamics. And a lot, like for instance in Spain, it's like everyone is dressed up as if it's a dating culture, and it literally is a dating culture in a lot of gyms. So a lot of guys use that opportunity to go and don't even want to use the word, but mansplain. They want to go over to initiate a conversation, and the easiest way to do that is to show how knowledgeable they are, how strong they are in this division, and explain to the person what they're doing wrong. And we've seen it all the time. We see it on YouTube where somebody's filming themselves and then this happens and then it's all over YouTube and it looks embarrassing for everybody involved, including the person who's posting the video. But there is always a time that you should help somebody. And this was somebody who was going to injure themselves. And so, of course, I'm coming at it from a position of experience. I've been lifting weights and doing sports since I was in high school. So why should I not go over, and you should ask yourself this, and this is what I did in this situation. I always do this in this situation. First of all, would I do exactly what I'm about to do, go and sort of explain to somebody as quietly as possible that what they're doing is going to hurt them, and to do it a different way, and actually then maybe demonstrate, as in this situation, demonstrate the correct way to lift? Or do I just leave it alone completely? Would I do exactly the same if it was a young guy or an older guy doing it? You know, some people get really offended. Some people get really offended that you're telling them how to do it if they're bigger than you or whatever, and you're just like, okay, you know what? Try to help, doesn't matter. And sometimes if it's a person who's not going to get injured by doing what they're doing, they're not necessarily doing something right, then probably I don't. If it's somebody in the gym at home on top of my building, then I'll sometimes say, do you know what? Like, what you're doing is good. It's a great. I love this movement. I love the exercise that you're doing, and it really helps like build strength in the glutes. But if you just tweak it like this, then you're not going to have the problem in your knee and ankle when it's trying to stabilize, and that might really help them. But because I live there and we're kind of all in this community, it's easier to have those conversations than it would be to somebody in the gym who's doing it the wrong way, and you're just trying to sort of like go over there casually, and it's all about your demeanor. It's all about the way you speak. So in this situation, I just said, and it was an English-speaking person, it wasn't a Thai person. I just said, you know what, I really hate it when people do this, but I was watching you just do the deadlift then, and somebody had given me this advice before because I was doing it wrong, and it can really hurt your lower back. And I torn a little muscle in my lower back, and if you tear something in the wrong place down there, it can literally feel as if you've paralyzed yourself, and you literally are paralyzed for a week where you cannot do anything because it's sort of so painful, and it sends jolts of what feels like electric down your back. So I said, yeah, it's really, really good if you can kind of, and also if you can straighten in your back and lift properly, then you're not only going to not get injured, but you're also going to get a lot more benefit on what you're trying to do there with the glutes, the hamstrings, and the lower back. And so she was very receptive, luckily, and so nothing was said about it. But it's been in the past, and it happened quite recently where it was just somebody right in front of me. I'm on a machine. There's somebody right in front of me, and they're trying to lift a barbell up and then put weights on the side, and it's already got 20 kg on either side. So that's really difficult to do. One hand lifting the barbell up, 20 kg, and what's on the other end, but it doesn't really count because it's on the floor, and then trying to put another 20 kg on top. It's a two-person job, ideally. And for me, if I was there and somebody said, doesn't matter who it is, if they said, hey, do you need help with this? I'd say, oh yeah, sure, I'll lift it up and you just slot that on if you can. This person was like, no, I can do it all myself. And I was like, I know you can do it yourself, but it's so much easier if there's two people doing it. So I'll help you with it. But that kind of energy was more like, I'm a girl. I know I'm a girl in the gym, and I know you're kind of coming out, etc. And I just thought, all right, all right. For me, it's like I'm just trying to help you. And for me, it didn't matter whether it was a girl, a woman, like an older man, a younger guy. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna try and help you if you're doing something that looks quite difficult, and it'd be much easier if it was two people. I'm never, ever, ever gonna stop doing that, no matter how weird it might seem in that situation. Even if the person's partner is on the other side of the thing, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna help. Because naturally, that's how we should be. And it's not a case of I'm trying to be a gentleman in the thing. It's just like, it just, for me, it's common sense. You want to be surrounded by people who are kind of thinking the same thing, not just thinking for themselves. So yeah, you should always try to help people at the gym. And if you see something going on, if you see somebody training in a certain way, then for me, they've already got to the gym. They're already doing something that's hard for them because they look as if they're quite new to it. Or they're already training in a way that they've maybe been training for a long time. It's the wrong way. And so if you can kind of put yourself into that situation, approach it with like no ego and just say, listen, seeing you training, and if you did it a little bit like this, I see what you're doing, I see the level of effort you're putting in, the attitude is fantastic, but if you just did this, you're gonna fly, and it'll be so much better because you'll be building strength in this area. Or if it's running, it often happens that I see people on a treadmill and they're making mistakes. We see it all the time. I'll see a guy just walking on a treadmill at 5 kilometers an hour for an hour. Like, there's no point. There's no point. And it might be like, it might be enjoyable for him because he's like watching a Netflix series, or he's watching a film or something like that. He's watching an education video maybe. But there's just no point at all. If you because his purpose for being there is to probably reduce diseases, probably reduce body fat. It's not optimal for doing that. So why not sort of like, just instead of wasting an hour, what you can do in 20, what you're achieving in 1 hour, you could do within 10, 15 minutes if you just change this up and you just kind of elevated your heart rate a little bit and put yourself, and then you're going to reduce injuries, reduce disease and illness and things like that way more. It's going to be way more muscle mass for you because you'll start to use running muscles as opposed to just walking. There's no enthusiasm there. And the most important part is, it's gonna be way more fun for you. So if walking on the same spot for you whilst you're watching something is enjoyable, completely get it. But why do it for an hour when you could get in and out within 10, 15 minutes and have exactly the same benefit? And then you could do it more often, and you're probably not gonna quit as quickly as if you have to make that serious investment of an hour of your time, plus getting to the gym, driving back from the gym. You're not gonna do it for as long. So for me, it's all about habit forming, making sure your processes and systems are solid so that you want to do that consistently, because consistency is the key to everything. So yeah, for me, just to get back to the point, if you see somebody doing something wrong, or somebody especially doing something where they're gonna get injured, intercept. Why not? Because all the things that you'll see on Facebook and Instagram, like, don't kind of come over here explaining something, how to do it, etc. People have done it to me. I've been in a gym trying to do something, and they've told me, I just politely said, great, thanks a lot. Like, really, really appreciate that. Which most of the time is literally 99 out of 100 times, if somebody told me how to do something better, I'd be really appreciative. I'm not questioning like where they're coming from or why they're doing it. I don't care. But there has been times when it's like, oh, well, actually, I'm not trying to build size. I'm actually trying to sort of get more powerful in this certain area because of endurance, because of running, and therefore it's not better for me to build more mass. It's better for me to build more strength in that area. So that's why the lower reps or the kind of higher weight and that kind of thing. But it is what it is. But what I'd say is, don't get put off by all the nonsense that you're reading online about not when to approach, what the etiquette should be, etc. If you see somebody doing something that's going to injure them in a gym, go over there and just politely say, you know what, you're going to hurt yourself, and so to stop doing it. And then if you do it in the right way, nobody can complain. And if they do complain, they're a fool anyway.